turn the ball over like he did and like he does. So I have Buffalo winning this game as well. I got it at a score of 27-17. And I got the over, although I wouldn't touch the over under in this game. I'm a little bit scared on that one because Josh Allen could be one of those guys where he looked phenomenal last week against the Jets, and he comes down against Miami. He might look like Josh Allen that we don't love too much. So I got 27-17 Buffalo. By the way, quick fact, Buffalo is the only team that actually plays in the state of New York. Did you know that, Rueter? That
is true. I know that because Josh Allen called that out at a press conference, talking about being the only team that really plays in New York. Yeah, so.
Yep. So the Jets and Giants should change their name. It shouldn't be the New York Jets and Giants. It should be the New Jersey Jets and Giants. I'm just saying.
I'm not going to lie. Those both sound better, too, with that J alliteration. Mm-hmm. Jets and Giants and the letter J. So I think I'm all about it, man.
You feel me?
Jersey Jets. That's got a ring to it.
That do. Yo, we should patent that.
Jersey Jets. That's a T-shirt waiting to happen.
All right, moving on. Next game on the slate here, we got Denver traveling to Pittsburgh to play the Pittsburgh Steelers. And no, I'm sorry, wrong game. Minnesota Indy. That's the next game on the slate. My bad. So we got Minnesota Indianapolis on the next game, and right now the spread Indianapolis. Indy, I'm gonna say is my. Can you say that? Indianapolis, Minneapolis. Can you say that 5 times fast?
Here we go. Indianapolis, Minneapolis. Indianapolis, Minneapolis.
All right, you put your point.
I got it. I'm all over it. I'm like a rapper right now. I'm like Dylon over here, man.
I like
Give me all the words. I'm spitting bars over here.
That's a good
naming cities.
Shout out to Chappelle, man. All right, so we got Indy versus Minnie, and Indianapolis is -3 at home against the Vikings. I'm going to take this one, Rueter. So watching the Colts, they played the Jacksonville Jaguars last week, and pretty much everybody was saying that this Jaguars team was the worst team in football, right, going into the season. And, for good reasons. Like, they literally gave away all their best players. But Minshew Magic, it's real, bro. Like, I posted on Facebook my Overreaction Monday. I'm about 95% all in on Minshew Magic about this time. And Phillip Rivers just looks old. And like he did last year, he just looks old and not really good anymore. Like, he's going to throw for some yards. He threw for over 300 yards last week against 363 to be specific, a touchdown, 2 terrible interceptions. They made him throw 46 times. I don't think that's a recipe for winning at this stage in his career. Like, the man's 37, 38 years old. He's got about 20 kids. So, I mean, right. How much juice does this guy have left?
Juice, literally and figuratively, he's out of juice. He's fruitful, that one.
Minnesota, I mean, I don't love Minnesota offense either. I'm not a big Kirk Cousins guy, as you already know. He's able to put up some points against Green Bay late in the fourth quarter. That was really just a blowout. But I kind of like Minnesota in this game. I like them. I like them getting 3 points. I think they're going to win this game outright. And I like the over. I got the Vikings winning 31-28. So I'm rolling with the Vikes on this one. I don't trust Phillip Rivers at this point. I think that the Vikings can run the ball down Indianapolis' throat because that defense is not very good. Kirk Cousins can work off of play action. And, I think they win this game by a field goal, man. By the way, I don't really like picking by field goals because after last week's performances by kickers, yeesh.
Ooh, rough week. I was watching friend of the show, Pat McAfee. I just always wanted to say friend of the show. So
hey, let's say it.
Hey, there he is, friend of the show, Pat McAfee.
Speak it into existence, baby.
That's right. You say it until it's true. So, friend of the show, Pat McAfee, was watching him, and he was saying that this was the most missed kicks like in the last 20 years in a week 1 game, and he was thinking it was because of the lack of game time pressure kicks, in the preseason and things like that. So brutal. I think there was like 19 missed field goals and 5 missed extra points, which was by far and away the most in a week 1 in a long, long time. So
gross.
Ugh, ugly stuff. Gross. But I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to concur here. I think, Minnesota getting points here is a farce. I think Minnesota wins this game outright. I mean, they got blown up. They lost by 9 to a very good Packers team, and Aaron Rodgers was magical. You watch some of the throws, and the receivers recovered. He's just beat it. He was just spectacular. That Vikings defense is going to be better than they showed. And I think you're right about the run game. Everything you said, I just completely agree with. I also think it's going to be a high-scoring game, though. I think Phillip Rivers figures it out a little bit. The Vikings are going to work out some kinks over time. But, I give it to the Vikings outright, 35-20, and we're going to go with the over as well.
My only concern with the Vikings defense also is that pass rush, because they gave Aaron Rodgers literally like just the time of day. Like he just was able to sit back, grab a glass of lemonade, take a sip, and then find Devontae Adams just streaking down the field for a touchdown. Like every single drop back is ridiculous. But we'll see. I think, and the offensive line is amazing. But Phillip Rivers, I'm not a big fan, man. These old quarterbacks in general, like they all just look bad, man. They just all look old. And it kind of sucks because, like, I remember watching these guys come into the league and they just dominate. Now it's just like, I don't know no more.
Well, I think it's going to take them a little bit more time than the younger cats to get out there and, shake off some of the rust.
Very fair point.
22 years old and you're spry and you're incredibly athletic. I think it's easy to get out there and run around. I think when you're old and you got to shake off some rust. Big Ben looked old. I felt like even though they won, I felt like Rivers looked old. Brady looked old. But it's gonna take them some time. They'll figure this out. Again, no OTAs. It's hard to get into game shape without it when you're older. Trust me, I know. I'm like these dudes' age almost now. So, they'll be all right. But it's going to take some time. Minnesota all day. Next
on the list. Now we have the Denver Broncos versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. And right now the line, Pittsburgh is favored at -7. Over under is 40.5. Pittsburgh defense Monday night was very impressive. That front seven, man, you look around the NFL and find me a better front seven than Pittsburgh Steelers, because they was just destroying Denver and that offensive line. And I felt bad for Jake Locker. Oh, no, I'm sorry, not Denver, New York. And Saquon Barkley couldn't do shit. Like he legit had like what, 9, 10, like it was ridiculous stat line. He couldn't do nothing. Like he could not run the ball. So I think it's going to be more of the same with the Broncos. I think that they're going to take away the running game from this Broncos team, and I think that they're going to make Jake. Is it Jake Locker?
No, it's Drew Lock.
Drew Lock. Where did I get Jake Locker from? Drew Lock.
Jake Locker was an older, shittier quarterback that was very young that never made it into anything.
Yeah, Drew Lock.
Despite the fact that I thought he would do something, he never did. So
I remember he's like projected to be a first overall pick that year he came out, and he
looked good for like one game, and I thought, wow, this guy's going to be awesome, and then he was not awesome. So yeah, Drew Lock.
I like Drew Lock. I like what Denver did with that offense and just getting him weapons, Jerry Jeudy and Handler, and they already got Cortland Sutton. That offensive line, I just think, is going to get abused by this Pittsburgh team. And Big Ben, shout out to Big Ben, man. Like I said it, like, yo, he looked terrible first, and then he just kind of just got better and better and better. That elbow injury is a little bit concerned for me because he had to rap on it, and he's 38 years old. So I still think they're going to win. I got it by a score of 20-13. So I'm picking the under, and I think, Pittsburgh doesn't cover because they're only -7, but 20-13, and Pittsburgh wins this game.
I'm with you. Who really stood out to me was Bud Dupree. I don't know if you had a chance to watch the game in full, but Bud Dupree, I mean, I always liked him a lot as a player. It seems like if he continues to play like this, he's taking it to an absolute different level. He looked awesome.
That's that franchise tag play, baby.
It might be. I mean, maybe that lit a fire up under him. I think the Broncos are playing hurt right now. They're missing Cortland Sutton. I think losing Von Miller, if you could imagine a bigger blow to a team right before the season starts than losing a guy like Von Miller, who's one of the best leaders on and off the field, just a tremendous playmaker. So you're down basically your best offensive weapon and your best defensive player. It's going to be tough sledding for them for right now. So I agree. I like Pittsburgh by a little bit more at home. I could definitely see the under, but I'm going to go like 27-10 Steelers.
27-10 Steelers. Okay, beautiful. All right, moving on. Next game on the slate here, we got the Carolina Panthers versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
TB12.
Yeah, TB12 was not looking TB12-ish. Right now, Tampa Bay is favored -8. The over-under is 47.5. Rueter, what's your thoughts, man?
My thoughts are Matt Rule. I thought interesting play calls last week. Matt Rule, I thought was supposed to be this creative, intuitive mind out there that was supposed to, kind of change the way the Carolina Panthers played. One call, but it was 4th and 1, and he does a dive with the fullback when you've got Christian McCaffrey back there, and he got stuffed, and that ended up costing him the game. I thought they played pretty well against the Raiders team, but I think we're going to finally see Tampa Bay put it together this week, and I think they're going to smother Carolina because I think that the Raiders' D is absolute trash, and Tampa Bay's defense could be legit. And, I think that's going to be big trouble for Carolina. I like Tampa Bay by more than 10, and I don't even think it's going to be close. 30-17. That puts them right underneath the over of 47.5. So I'm going to go with the under, but Tampa Bay all the way.
I disagree.
Yes.
I'm going to disagree.
It's more fun when you disagree, buddy. I promise.
Yeah. I love it. Watching that Tampa Bay game last week against New Orleans, I was not impressed at all, bro. Tom Brady, and I get it. The TB12 diet. He eats avocado ice cream, and he drinks alkaline water, and he doesn't eat red meat, and all this other shit. Like, awesome dude, and got a supermodel wife and shit like that. But as a football player, watching the product on the field that he produced, that looked bad. Like, he looked all 43 years old, like all of it, like every single bit of 43. He can't push the ball down the field no more, Rueter. Like, he got these two big ass athletic receivers and tight ends, and he can't get them the ball. Like, and people were saying, like, okay, it's miscommunication, and this is the first time that they're really playing together in a game, and I get it. I understand that, and that makes a lot of sense. However, I also notice a lot of just ducks in the air, just a lot of ducks just floating in the air and just so easy to swat down or pick off. He looked terrible, and like everybody's trying to make him like all this feel good shit. Oh yeah, he threw for 239 yards. He threw 2 touchdowns. He accounted for another 100 yards in PIs. And I mean, okay, yeah, that's all fine and dandy and everything, but like, they lost the game, and honestly, the game wasn't close the whole thing. Like, New Orleans took it to them. Carolina, they was able to hang pretty tough with the Las Vegas Raiders, and the Raiders defense ain't nothing. They're like, oh wow, so Raiders defense, is their average at best. But I like this Carolina team, man. I like Teddy Bridgewater. I think that he can manage the game. Christian McCaffrey, just give him the ball as many times as you need to. And I think this Carolina defense can do just enough to slow down Tampa Bay, honestly. I don't see a high-powered offense from Tampa Bay yet. Until I do, it's kind of hard for me to predict that they will turn it around when, like, Bruce Arians is fucking calling out his quarterback. He's like, man, he was Tom Brady in practice. I don't know what the hell happened. Like, God damn, you got your head coach saying that about you? I like Carolina in this game. I'm going with the under, but I'm going Carolina 20-17. And Tampa Bay starts off 0-2, and it's not a good look right now for them boys. So that's just my take on it. Well, by the way, real quick, I'm sorry. The wide receiver Mike Evans was a full participant in practice, so he should be able to play. So I mean, they got some good news there for them. Though Chris Godwin is doubtful.
Okay. Well, I think the good news is you're not going to have to wait very long to see what this offense is capable of, because I think they're going to come out and throw all over these boys. I think you were right. I think the thing where you said it best, where you nailed it, was the 2 long pass interference calls that would have otherwise been caught. I think if you go on here and you're 25 of 38 for over 300 yards, all of a sudden that's looking like a little different story. The one thing I'll say, I kind of looked it up before we started this. 3 games in a row, Brady's had a pick 6 now. And they're oftentimes on those throws to the outside of the field where that arm's maybe a little bit weaker. He's not getting there with as much zip, and these corners are jumping those routes. So that's interesting. That's something to keep an eye on. But I like that we disagree on one here, pal. I like it. We'll definitely have to talk about this one after Sunday, but nice hearing your thoughts on it. Yeah,
I got a couple of upsets, Rude. I think we're going to disagree on a couple of them. By the way, I was so tempted to tweet Tom Brady doing his best Jameis Winston impersonation when he threw that pick 6. But I just knew everybody was going to be on that. So I said, you know what? I'm just going to dial back, and I'm going to let everybody have that one.
Let it out there.
Yeah.
Let everybody else have it.
Just throwing it out there. All right. Next game on the slate here, we got the New York Football Giants, New Jersey Giants versus the Chicago